G'day everyone and welcome back to Gatekeeper's coverage of the Australian Doubles Championships presented by Full Circle Discs and RPM Discs. I'm Josh Morrison, joined by Nick Halstead, and we have the back nine here of our second feature card featuring Nick, yourself. You're teaming up with Lee and facing off against some pretty heavy hitters.
Oh yeah, Drew Gibson and Jennifer Allen, two of the best throwers in the world.
Absolutely. And so far, scores are even between you two.
Yeah.
6 under through your first 9 holes. So how are you feeling going into the back nine here?
Yeah, I was definitely feeling a lot more comfortable with them. They're not these extraterrestrial beings that I should be scared of. They're just disc golfers.
Absolutely, and they're nice people at that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've got hole 11 here, one of the technical par 4s on the course. You're throwing downhill to that gate that we just saw there is probably the ideal landing zone. There's some OB on the right that you want to avoid, and then you're throwing uphill with a left to right sloping fairway for your second shot.
And so Drew's just going with that overstable mid-range right to that landing zone. As long as that doesn't go too far. See, that's going to be tricky because they might have a downhill run up on that.
Down a run up and maybe gate kind of in the way, so
Yeah.
some just obstacles there to navigate on the second shot.
So yeah, this is on Tunnel Ridge Ranch, so there are, horses walk around here all the time.
And we do have to give a shout out to James and the Tunnel Ridge crew, because actually, as you might have seen on the front nine, the Peninsula hole is actually, his house is there.
Yeah.
So he's super generous to, open this course up for a tournament of this size, and we're super blessed to have been able to use it. And
Absolutely.
You threw a beautiful shot there.
Yeah,
right
I
in the
was
landing zone.
extremely happy with that. That is the landing zone.
Uses the gate as a backstop.
Yeah, well,
stop
that
the
little
shot.
pond there, that little hole next to Drew is OB, so... and that is just fantastic.
A little bit of a tricky run up, but
Ooh, a bit far,
goes
actually.
long of the basket. But
He's got too much power. He has
beautiful
too many
shot.
wheat bix for breakfast. And so, yeah, Jen's making the decision to go standstill. Need to skip. Too low, but inside circle one, so...
Can't complain too much about that. You got a nice shot here. Sets it well for maybe a slight hyzer shot heading towards the basket.
Yeah, I really found that run up tricky because it was like I was going downhill and then back uphill. And so that's probably why it was a bit of an early release.
So did you take Leith's shot there? Was
We
that-
did, yeah.
Okay.
I think from memory, and that was a great shot by
Yeah.
Leith. Mine was just a little too awkward with the fence.
Gotcha. And trying to shape the shot up there.
Yeah. Jen's missed a few putts today, but I know she'll be turning it on later this week for sure. That's a great putt, dead center.
Yeah, Drew's putting starting to heat up now.
Yeah.
On the back nine, just like the weather that we had
Yeah,
over
very,
the
very hot.
weekend. Great birdie there. That's a really good one to get.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the harder par fours, so I'm sure they were happy with getting that one and put some pressure on us.
Maybe tricky navigating the downhill shot there.
Yeah, certainly. There's potential to roll away with this slope, so you got to be careful. And just got nubbed. It was so
Dances
close.
on the edge. I think I saw when you threw that grass that there's maybe a little bit of a tailwind that maybe didn't quite help your putter to stay in there, but very close.
And I just wanted to make sure I explained it to Jen because, I gotta make sure.
Absolutely. Hole 12, Nick, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, par 5. Only par 5 on the course, 250 metres roughly. But for someone like Drew and Jen, this is a pro level par 4, so I expect they would be able to eagle it if they can get a good drive off the tee. One thing to note, there's OB along the right, and there's a massive slope near the basket. Watching this.
Oh, come on, Heiser.
Unfortunately,
Let's see.
it wasn't the best shot, but hearing that snap, it was like hearing a bull whip.
Oh, crikey. That was impressive. He's got a lot of power.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that kicked out of bounds.
Oh,
yeah.
it looked like it was great out of the hand.
And I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Piped it right down the middle. Obviously, a good 300 feet shorter than Drew, but just to get through this gap, it's a pretty easy birdie if you can play it right. But even where Jen's drive landed, I expect fair dinkum that way. He throws it with so much power.
Oh boy.
And that just got a really good amount of turn. And that's over the crest of the hill, so that's a great
It
shot.
might be maybe circle 2 potentially.
Yeah.
You can just hear that coming out of their hands. That's a solid shot as well.
Yeah.
Definitely sets up for a pretty easy birdie.
for sure.
And it's fun, playing for an eagle on the par 5, especially in doubles.
Yeah, and I was really happy with
Nice
that.
shape to that shot.
Yeah, got a good rip on it. Just to the top of the hill, should be a pretty easy pitch up for the birdie. Leith is so smooth. And fun fact about him, he's actually an Olympic swimmer.
There you go.
Yeah, he
Oh, wow.
represented Australia in the Beijing Olympics, won a bronze medal. Yeah, so
There you go.
it felt pretty cool playing with these professional disc golf athletes, and then my true blue Aussie partner was an Olympic swimmer.
Oh, there you go.
And that was a great upshot by Drew.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where that ended up. If you go too far and high over this hill, it's just going to keep carrying past the basket. So you want to really have good speed control. Just crest the hill, maybe even hit it and sort of slide into the basket. Legs forehand.
Yeah, and like you were just saying, I was really trying to match the slope as best as I could, and that was really tricky, especially because the disc landed right behind the tree. But Leith made a really good correction there and put us in the circle.
Just looks so smooth with his throws.
Yeah.
You had the closest shot by the looks of it though. Tickles the right side there.
I know he said sorry, mate. 'Cause I don't think he was too happy with how he was putting today, but look, he's a great partner. Yeah.
No pressure. He's got you backing him up, so no worries there. Grabbing the birdie, which I think if you're not getting a birdie in doubles here, you're probably losing strokes in the field.
And I was very excited by that because you don't see many people in Australia turbo putt their tap-ins, so
definitely not.
to watch Jen do it was pretty special.
Here we got hole number 13. It's one of the signature holes on the course, teeing off from out of bounds. And this will be interesting to see Jen's line because she's throwing over out of bounds the whole way here, and then is trying to just beat the trees and get left at the end, and hasn't managed to do that. And so
They're still out of bounds.
So then that'd be a retee, but typical play is what you'll see from most of our players is throwing the forehand out over the inbounds. Just the volleyball court that you can see there is out of bounds as well. You just want to just hyzer off that and finish towards the basket. Looks like you're going with an overstable fairway driver here.
Yeah, and I was.
Ooh, that's probably saved it from going. Oh no, yeah, hit a belly tree.
Leith just steps up and throws. And yeah, that was a great shot. It was a really, really smooth shot.
He must be one of the most casual players I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And he made a putt as well.
With the putt as well.
he was very happy about that.
That's done well. Keeping yourselves in it here.
Yeah, I know we missed a few are probably the easier birdies, but we're still keeping pretty close to Drew and Jen, and being able to play with two of the best players in the world on the card is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Hole 14, over the pool hole, got that whole pool area is out of bounds. There's a Mando just to that left there, and there's Ovi all along the right. You may see some people go with the forehand or the turnover to the left near that Mando, but a lot of these players are going to throw this big shot over the water. Jen actually took that a bit too early because that tree is in the out of bounds area, but that is just safe.
Yeah, the trick here, if you're going, we'll see Drew's throw. He's gonna go big here. Gets it up high.
This is the worst.
Yeah, it looks like it's just stalling out a bit early.
Yeah, I didn't think he felt super confident on the tee pad.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a drop off at the end, so I don't think he'd give it his full mustard.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all you need to do to play the hole safe. He gets a bit of a skip to the right, and you just play around that Mando tree.
It's a very handy roll there as well. That's going to be
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah, the trick with like what you're throwing here, you might be going high over the trees.
And that's too inside. I need to turn that more, and that's going to hit that tree
drop you
and fall
straight
back
out of
into the
bounds.
pool. So
swimming.
That's the risk with going the backhand line that's low. If you go high backhand, you might avoid that. But yeah, the safe play is what we saw from Leith throwing that forehand out to the left.
And that's a tricky shot with that tree right to their left, but Drew did that really well. And especially with that OB right, you really wanted to finish left as best as you can.
Yeah.
Bit short there from Jen, but Drew threw a fine up shot. And yeah, see, you can see where Leith's shot finished. It's a pretty simple up and down kind of shot if you can land over there.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was a great forehand by him.
Yeah, checks up just in time. Should have a birdie putt from there. Going backhand to the right side, swinging it away from the out of bounds, as you said. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Leith was close, so I'm like, I'll try to give it a little bit of a run.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah, I was happy with that shot. That's a great putt.
Great putt.
Again, a lot of the par fours out here are really attackable. If you can throw a big drive, the upshots are pretty simple.
Yeah.
But as soon as you catch one of these trees and you can funnel OB, it becomes a really scary hole.
Absolutely. You want to keep it clean on the start. But both teams making the most of that hole and picking up the birdie. This, though, hole 15 is one of probably the most difficult holes on the course. It's a long 159, 522 foot par 3 and OB all down the right side and sloping right to left fairway as well. So
that sucks.
that's a bit early from Jen.
And she really let us know. This is probably the hole I was most excited to see them play, because my players always just lay up here, take the par. But to see Drew and Jen attack it, I was really excited.
Drew's going right side.
I think that's his like straight 7 speed. And that's the common miss. As soon as you want to try to get down there, you just turn it over way too much.
Yeah. Yeah, so not in good position here, Drew and Jennifer.
Yeah, and I said to Leith, I was like, I'm just going to do my normal game plan and get us down to the bottom of the hill. But it just
got a bit of a
caught
kick.
one of those trees. But that's fine.
It's about halfway down the fairway. Should have a relatively simple approach. We'll see what Leith can do, whether he can put you a bit closer. It's looking nice. If
Yeah.
he can get clean. Yeah.
Close, but it was a really nice line. I really liked it.
Yeah.
It just caught one of those branches. But even where Jen finished, you can see from Drew's upshot, it's pretty easy to get up and down. They did the Tunnel Ridge Ranch, and a lot of the volunteers did a lot of work clearing out that area from previous years. And yeah, they've done a great job, which makes this hole less daunting.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very tricky birdie to get, and looks like both our teams will hopefully be getting up and down just for pars, which is not too bad on this hole. Want to be avoiding the out of bound the bogeys really.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Drew just taps in their par for their team, and I'll come in and try to finish it off as well.
Yeah, done well there.
And yeah, like 2 pars on that hole is fine.
Absolutely.
Hole 16, another par 4, 148 metres, so a shorter one. But it's this dog leg to the right, and you really want to land where the drain is now. And then you have this straight up the slope approach shot. There is a lot of danger to the right. You'll see a lot of players attack it with a turnover or a forehand around the corner.
Oh, this is turning nicely if it pushes past the corner. Oh yeah,
And that's prime position.
If you're any earlier than that turning, then it's trouble, but Drew looks like he's put it in perfect position. That's okay.
I'm trying to try the turnover as well. I really struggled with that tee pad. I felt it did that a lot, so I was really counting on Leith to throw a nice shot here.
Keep you within
And he
distance of
does
these
that,
two.
yeah.
Oh, that looks perfect as well. Look at that late turn, and both teams should be in a really good position. Just looking, it's probably this angle doesn't really show how uphill I feel like this shot is. It looks, it's quite uphill in person, and
Shot. Come on, push. Going.
some great approaches there from your team, calling it to go in. Sounds like there was a bit of banter going on there.
Yeah, I think Jen's about to tell us. Yeah, I after Leith had thrown his shot, I turned around to Jen and I think I said beat that, just because I was super happy with how my teammate threw the shot. But yeah, they also threw a good.
Yep. We got hole 17 here. One of the other signature holes here. It's an island hole. The road that you can see going around the basket is in bounds. It's just the outside edge of that which is out of bounds. So touchy little shot. You got to really control the distance and the speed. Otherwise, it's easy to skip out of bounds. And Drew's just done that perfectly.
Yeah, and I think people obviously know Drew as a really big thrower, but he's also got really good touch game with his mids and his putters. I know that's his flippy putter, and that was just beautiful. But Jen just shows him up and puts it even closer.
I'm finding it very entertaining how Drew throws a great shot and then Jen will just one-up him a lot of the time, and they're both throwing some really nice shots here.
And yeah, that was one of my poorest shots. I quite struggled with the angle I needed to throw on this hole, but luckily Leith was like, okay, this is my time to shine.
Coming in clutch, yeah.
Yeah, tricky spot because we're right behind the tree, but we're still happy to make the island.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just that was quite in the way, wasn't it? That tree,
Yeah,
just making it difficult. Taking a par there, so not the worst.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, again, just dropping one more stroke to Jen and Drew.
Yeah.
I mean, still shooting a good score, but they're really turning it on in the back nine here.
Yeah, hole 18. This is such a steep slope. You've got that Mando there that a lot of people miss, and then that fence all the way along is out of bounds. And then this is a right to left slope. The camera doesn't do it justice. It is really, really hard. But the way that Drew throws this is just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's put some mustard behind that one.
Yeah.
And looks like he's fading. I can't tell that. It stayed in bounds by the looks of it.
Yeah, it was in bounds, and it was really far up there.
Wow.
And this is really where you see the difference in class, because I can get up there and get past the Mando, but watching them do it with ease is just so incredible.
Yeah, they're hitting it on hyzer and it's just going right around the Mando towards the basket. I mean, you hit a nice shot there. Look at that. That's going to have you in a great position.
I was really happy with that, but Jen let me know that she outdrove me.
Of course.
Yeah, it was nice to have a bit of friendly banter on the card. That was also a nice shot from Leith. It feels really good to get up there and past the Mando so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and now it's just a matter of navigating the slope here on the approach shot. Floats a little bit with the OB.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's pretty close.
So I'm going to try to throw it in if I can now, but not a very good effort. But put it next to the basket, so easy tap in.
Easy tap in.
And so this is where Drew's drive
Oh my
went.
goodness.
Which
so
is,
it's almost pin high.
Yeah. And he gets it.
No way. The Eagle 2. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that was super cool to see.
What a way to come towards the close of the round. That's going to make up for some of those easier missed holes there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was very, very cool to see.
Wow, phenomenal. Great work there. I mean, you've got to be happy with the birdie. Yeah, you're looking happy with it there, but when you see the eagle happen just in front of you with that amazing drive and up shot, it's crazy. Finishing off here, it's the 18th hole, but actually hole number 1 on the usual course. Short one, par 3, deeply downhill, OB to the right. Multiple ways to attack this hole. You can go straight backhand down the middle, or forehand to the left, and Drew's just played the angles perfectly there.
buttery smooth. I after this hole, I was just on an absolute high. I was so elated with how I had played and getting to play with these guys. I don't think I even cared how we went on this final hole. I was just, really happy with how we finished.
Yeah, and what a great opportunity for you both to play with such experienced players.
Yeah, and I got to thank Full Circle Discs for making it happen. They do a lot to support me and Leith.
That's right, Drew.
Looks like that stayed just in
bounds.
bounds, so you're going with the backhand shot.
Yeah, I wanted to try to ace it, but that wasn't a very good good attempt.
See if we can close out here with a long putt. Oh, just off to the right side. And this would be a great way to finish for you.
It would be a really good way to finish.
Not to be, but
Not to be, but that's okay.
see if Jen and Drew can close it out.
Yeah, and a 15 down is really, really good.
That is some good shooting, and solid 11 down for both yourself and Leith. Look at Drew carrying his little backpack around with only about 5 discs or so in it, and just straight in the course. It was awesome to have some American players here.
Yeah, and Leith and I are really happy with that.
Thanks for filming, Gatekeeper. Love you.
We do appreciate Gatekeeper being out here, and that was an exciting finish. Look at that back 9 from Jen and Drew. That's just,
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. And I mean, it's hard to go up against that, but they finished in a tie for second. We had some really good shooting from the young Western Australians there in first place, shooting 17 under. That's
crazy.
Impressive.
Yeah, and we were, Leith and I were really happy with coming 6th. Like I said, we did not expect to win or anything like that. We were just so happy with the experience, and getting to play with Drew and Jen was just absolutely amazing. And it was one of the greatest days of my life.
It was certainly enjoyable. It was a great tournament, and Nick, it's been a pleasure.
It has been.
Let's go put some snags on the barbie.